Selenium for Beginners with Rex Jones II. Closed captioning is available for you. Switch CC on or off.
Let's recap all the three loop statements. The for loop starts by writing keyword for with three statements. The first statement is initialization, which sets the counter variable. Counter variables can also be called loop variables because it is a variable that controls the loop. We have to make sure to complete the initialization statement with a semicolon. The second statement is a condition. A condition is a Boolean expression that determines if the loop will repeat or not repeat. If the condition is true, the loop will repeat, but it will not repeat if the condition is false. The condition also ends with a semicolon. However, the third and final statement is iteration, which does not have a semicolon. We can increment or decrement the counter variable after each loop. Next, we have an opening bracket, followed by a statement or block of statements, then a semicolon. The closing bracket complete the for loop. Let's use the flow chart because some people get a better understanding watching the flow. We start by writing for, followed by an initialization. After the initialization is the condition. If the condition is false, then that stops the for loop. However, if the condition is true, then our body, which is a statement, is executed. Next, we have an iteration before going back to the condition. The loop repeats until the condition is false. The while loop starts by writing keyword while and a condition. An initialization statement is not in this slide, but it helps the condition determine if the while loop should repeat or not repeat. The condition can be any Boolean expression. We have an opening bracket, then our statement body, and a semicolon. Notice how the condition is checked at the top of the loop before writing a statement. The statement is only executed if the condition is true. One more bracket closes the while loop. Here's while loop flowchart, which starts with while. First, we see the condition. If the condition is false, the while loop bypasses execution and stop. If the condition is true, the while loop executes a statement, then increments or decrements the value. Next, the process continues all over again until the condition becomes false. Last is the do while loop, and it starts with keyword do, followed by an opening bracket. Then we have a statement and a semicolon. This guarantees the statement will get executed at least one time. After the statement is a closing bracket, keyword while, and a condition is last. Notice how the do while loop is different from the for loop and the while loop. The condition is at the bottom of the loop, but the for loop and while loop has a condition at the top of the loop. The flowchart also shows keyword do and a statement. Statements automatically gets executed once before an iteration. After the iteration increments or decrements a counter variable, we have our while condition. If the while condition returns false, then the program stops running, but it will keep running if the while condition is true. The do-while loop continues executing, iterating, and checking the while condition until false is returned from the condition. Java is flexible when it comes to loops. How do you know which loop to use for a certain task? I recommend using the for loop when you know how many times the loop should run. The while loop should be used when you do not know how many times the loop should run. The do while loop is used when the loop must run at least one time. That's it, and thank you for watching Java's loop statements. If you are interested in the transcript, presentation, and code, go to tinyurl.com/Java loop statements. https://2/, tinyurl.com/JAVA hyphen loop LLOP hyphen statements STATMENTS.
Online courses coming soon. Books available in paperback, ebook, and PDF. All Part 1 ebooks and PDF documents are free. Programming books for UFT. Programming books for Java. Here's the Selenium automation book. And TestNG. Subscribe to get notification of future videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.